Hello, and welcome to Beyond Biotech, the weekly podcast from Labiotech. I'm Dylan Kassane, and this is episode 165 for the podcast. Partnering conferences are where many deals in the biotech industry get made, with investors and top pharma companies on hand to meet with founders, learn about new science, and put money on the table for promising biotechs. It's little wonder that the biggest partnering events attract hundreds of innovators and thousands of attendees. One of the largest industry partnering events in Europe is BIOSPAIN. This year, BIOSPAIN will take place in Barcelona, and the Catalan city will welcome participants from more than 40 countries for 3 days of exhibitions, partnering meetings, and presentations from industry leaders. Labiotech will be on the ground reporting from BIOSPAIN this year, and so I sat down with Stuart Medina from BIOSPAIN to find out exactly what he's got in store. Stuart, welcome to Beyond Biotech.
Thank you. Thank you for your invitation.
Stuart, you're here today to talk to us about BIOSPAIN. Can you start by giving me just an overview of what BIOSPAIN is and what makes it really a flagship event for biotech in Southern Europe?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, so BIOSPAIN is an event that ASABio, the Spanish Bioindustry Association, has been organizing for over 20 years. This is the 22nd year, actually. It's the largest biotech event in Spain. It's been growing consistently. It's become, depending on how you count the attendance, of course, which is always hard to contrast the data other people publish, but I would say that we're easily the third, fourth largest biotech event in Europe after the two BioEurope, so the BioEurope Spring and BioEurope in the fall. Maybe I would say maybe Swiss Biotech is probably a bit larger than BioSpain. So we're talking about an event that will convene about 2,200 professionals from the industry, more than 180 exhibitors, probably more like 200 exhibitors from over 40 countries. So it's a fairly large event for European standards, and probably one of the largest national events, one of the largest organized by a national association.
Stuart, tell me a little bit about the different sectors that are there, because when we talk biotech, that includes health and agriculture, sustainability. How does this appear at BIOSPAIN, and how does it reflect the sort of the priorities of the biotech industry now?
Yeah, I mean, traditionally, of course, human health was the key driver of biotech in Spain as elsewhere. That's nothing surprising. I would say, of course, this is going to continue to be the case in this edition as well. But we are making an effort to provide more space and visibility for what we're calling sort of a catch-all name, green biotech. So meaning biotech applied to agri-tech, agri-food industry, tech food industry, renewable energies, etc. So that's a commitment that we have to explain also to society the diverse applications of biotech. So this is something that is new in this edition. We're creating a specific space for green biotech. There'll be a dedicated room for all the roundtable discussions related to all the B sessions on for example, cultivated meat, CO2 capture, alternative proteins, etc. So there is also going to be a session with investors specializing in green biotech. This is something new, and we're also having providing a space so that green biotech companies can showcase their innovation and their products and services very close to this meeting room. And of course, there'll be most of the exhibitors will probably be involved in human health, but we are seeing increasing growth in green biotech as well. This is something that is evolving quickly because there is growing industry, I think, growing interest in the food industry. And of course, you have large companies like Bayer, Repsol, etc., who are showing interest also in biotech.
You mentioned you've got people coming from more than 40 countries. Does that mean we'll see exhibitors and attendees from Asia and the United States as well?
Yeah. We have exhibitors from mostly from Europe, of course. I would say There is a significant presence from Latin America. We will be having a Argentinian pavilion. We have more than, I think, 15 confirmed exhibitors from Argentina, from Mexico also, from Jalisco, from Uruguay. So there's some significant Latin American presence, I think, thanks to the sort of historical tags and the language. So there'll be presence from Latin America, but I would say most of the attendance will be coming from Europe, from the UK. Switzerland is a guest nation this year, so there will have there will be a Swiss pavilion, and there'll be a session dedicated to Swiss biotech and the links between Spanish and Swiss biotech. We're also having a delegation from the UK, a significant, I think, delegation. I think they're increasing their commitment to BioSpain, and also there'll be delegations from Canada, from Hong Kong, and other countries, and Portugal as well. So yeah, there's a significant international presence, both in terms of exhibitors and also in terms of participants. We're also making an effort to attract VC funds from not only Europe but also from the US. We have invited some VC funds from the US, and maybe also from Canada and Singapore. We're hoping to get some VC partners and directors to participate in the event. Mm-hmm.
Everybody's coming together in Barcelona. Why did you choose Barcelona? What makes it a really ideal place for an event like this?
Yeah, it's interesting because we were in Barcelona in 2023, and we hadn't been in Barcelona since 2004. And I think the new general manager of Biocat, which is the Catalan agency promoting the bioregion, the Catalan bioregion, Robert Fabregat, he made a personal commitment to bring BioSpain back to Barcelona. And we've had a fantastic relationship with Biocat, and the results of 2023, I think, prove that Barcelona was a wise choice, because Barcelona today is, 50% of the pharmaceutical industry, or the Spanish pharmaceutical industry, is based in Barcelona. It's probably one of the most, well, certainly the most dynamic biotech hub in Spain right now. Also a very important and growing research, hub as well. I mean, innovation hub. Recently, about 2 years ago, AstraZeneca, Lexion announced that they were going to set up their innovation hub in Barcelona, and they're hiring about 1,700 researchers for that, which is quite a big endeavor, I have to say. So the number of companies there, we have, I would say, about 400 biotech companies based in Barcelona right now. So it made all the sense, and we could see it in the numbers. The jump in attendance versus the previous, it's true that the previous edition had been just right after the pandemic, so that's not a fair comparison. But if we compare to the last edition in a normal situation, non-pandemic situation, there was a significant increase in attendance and in revenues and exhibitors, visitors. It was quite a significant jump. And we have an agreement now with the Catalan regional government, with both the City Hall and Biocat, to have the event there every 2 years. So the next 3 editions, so 25, 27, and 29 will be 27, 29, 29. And, I think I'm saying it right. Yeah, 2025, 2027, 2029. Sorry. Yeah, that's going to be in Barcelona. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So also, of course, it's a city that has a fabulous international connections, and it's a good destination. There is a lot of international visitors, a lot of international tourism, etc. So it's an ideal location.
And I guess off the program floor as well, there's a lot of cultural attractions that people can see while they're there. They're not just going to be locked in a conference center for a couple of months.
Yeah, we make a point of making the event also fun. We want to have people not only doing business, of course, this is a business forum, and there's going to be obviously meetings and roundtable discussions and etc. But we try to make a point of having some fun in the evening. So there will be a night at the museum, at the Museu Marítim, which is, I think, one of my favorite museums in Barcelona. If anybody has visited, it's a lovely, well, I think it's a 15th century shipyard, basically. That's where the ships were being built in the Mediterranean galleys in the 14th, 15th century, 16th century, and you have a reproduction of Mediterranean galley in there. So there'll be music, there'll be food, and also have a traditionally in BIOSPAIN we have a tapas tour on the second day. So we're going to have agreements with bars in the downtown district in near Paseo de Gracia. For those who know Barcelona, that area, there'll be places that will take tickets for some tastings and some a taste of the local food. So we try to make it fun, and there'll be music as well. So we try to have some fun as well.
Well, that sounds great fun. Off the floor, if I bring you back to the conference, what are the main topics and themes that you're going to be highlighting this year?
Yeah. Well, there's a program that, of course, still working on, but there'll be, of course, policy issues that we're going to be addressing. There's a lot of legal stuff affecting our industry, Biotech Act being one of them. It's still being defined by the European Commission. We have invited Oliver Varhelyi. We hope that he can join us, and if not somebody in his team, we would hope that the European Commission can come and discuss with the industry how to provide contact for that Biotech Act, which is going to have, I think, a lot of significance for our industry, especially in terms of, I think, what concerns our industry is, of course, access to innovative therapies and also funding for research. So we're hoping that that discussion can help define the contact for the Biotech Act. But there's also a significant amount of Spanish legislation. There's this national strategy for pharmaceutical innovation, which we want to discuss with the Spanish government. There's also a lot of discussion on what they call the pharmaceutical strategy, which the Spanish government has been preparing and will have an impact on pricing and reimbursement in Spain, and that's another issue that is going to be addressed. There's there are going to be I think several sessions on artificial intelligence and different aspects of artificial intelligence. We want to be talking about, of course, advanced therapies, oncology, possibly orphan drugs. All what concerns the industry. Synthetic biology is a major topic as well, and within the green biotech part or track of our program of roundtable discussions. In general, what we always say is that this is a forum for the industry, and what we provide is a space, a platform for the industry to express and communicate their concerns, their preoccupations, their priorities. It is a space. This is the space for the industry to speak up and communicate what they want to communicate to society at large, to politicians, but also to society at large.
You're talking about a couple of these different spaces. I mean, any big partnering event like this, you have an area for partnering, you have these exhibition zones as well, pitch sessions, social events. How are you designing these? How are you putting them together so that people are actually engaged and really take the most out of their time in Barcelona? Yeah,
of course. One of the nice things about we were of course selected La Fira, the Pavilion 1 in La Fira, which is an antique sort of conference center. It was built in the 1920s, so it's got its charm. It's got sort of its industrial, era sort of look and feel, right? With but it is also a bit dated, so it's an old-fashioned facility. But it's very conveniently located in a very sort of, I think, iconic part of the city with the view of Montjuic, the hill with the museum at the top, and the fountains in the avenue, that goes to it. So it's got its pros and cons. But one of the nice things is that everything happens in the same space. It's a single space. There are no separate rooms. Everybody's in the same area. So we have an exhibition floor, of course. There'll be like three. I think you can depict the floor plan as sort of a four sections. They're like two major hallways, and then one of the quadrants of the exhibition space, we will have about 130, 140 partnering cabins or booths, so individual. So you can have with each with a table and four chairs, so everybody can have their sort of, I guess, a little bit of intimacy for the discussions. I mean, we can't guarantee soundproof, of course, but it's similar to BioEurope and other major biotech events. We will have of those 140 spaces for meetings. People will have about half hour, 20, 30-minute time slots. Last edition, we had about 5,000 meetings arranged through a partnering system. We're using Partnering One, which is the same partnering system that is used in BioEurope and managed by EBD. So we're expecting a similar higher number of meetings. And in general, from the surveys, opinion, that we collect after BioSpain, people tend to be fairly satisfied. This is one of the favorite aspects of BioSpain, is the chance to have good quality meetings. We have very good feedback from participants from previous editions in terms of the number of meetings they had and the quality of meetings and the follow-up in terms of new business opportunities that are detected, etc. So that's probably one of the core aspects of the BioSpain is the meetings and the arranged through the partnering system. Of course, then we have 4 meeting rooms, 4 auditoriums. One of them is the main auditorium. We give them names. We give them names of Spanish researchers. So we have called them Margarita Salas, Severo Ochoa, Ramon y Cajal, and Ramon Margalef were well-known Spanish researchers or scientists. And the main auditorium fits 150 people. Will have the more, the sessions that we think will have more attendance. There'll be 3 other rooms, and this year we're going to have open space. So we're not going to build rooms. We're just going to sort out the acoustics with a good distributed loudspeakers throughout the room, so that noise doesn't get or too much noise doesn't get in from the exhibition area into the meeting rooms. Sorry. So we're going to have 4 parallel sessions running out through Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Also, as a novelty this year, we're having a job fair on Thursday. So we will open the gates for students, PhD students, researchers, people who are finishing this, or people just want to find a job in the industry. And we set up a partnering system just for the talent, what we're calling the Talent Day. And we're also reserving some slots and some cabins or booths for 20-minute meetings between employers, potential employers, and candidates. So that's something that we want to also promote and help it grows gradually this year as well.
One of the tracks that you've got this year, which really makes you stand out, is this green forum, this green innovation, green policy. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Is that something that is there for the first time this year, or it's something people have been investing in for a little while?
Yeah, we've been traditionally organizing what we call in Acebio the Green Innovation Forum, which we did every 2 years. The years when we had BioSpain, we didn't organize Green Innovation Forum because it is quite a substantial. I mean, this is very taxing on our organization for Acebio, the Spanish Bioindustry Association, to organize an event like BioSpain is quite an endeavor. So we didn't have Green in BioSpain. We had something called Green Innovation Forum, which is a smaller event, about 200 to 300 participants, depending on the year. Last edition, we had it in Pamplona. We had about 300 attendees, approximately. And it's a smaller event, one-day event. But now we're going to an annual frequency for BioSpain. And we wanted to, we will probably have a Green Innovation Forum again next year, but we wanted to create a space for, green biotech companies, which tend to be smaller. They don't have as much capital in general as big pharma or even some of the larger biotech companies. So we wanted to make sure that they felt that they had their own space, that they wasn't overwhelmed by human health, by pharma, biopharma, diagnostics, etc. And that is why we decide to have one room for them, one auditorium, just reserved for all those sessions. And we wanted to make sure that they also had their own physical space within the exhibit hall and make sure that they could participate and gain access to the exhibition area at a reasonable cost, because it is, of course, expensive to set up a booth. We realize that it is costly, and of course, it's mostly, mid-sized, large companies that can afford to buy a booth. So we wanted to make sure that they had access to sort of a counter at a reasonable price, and we'll see how that works. I mean, this is so we have to innovate. We have to try new things, and let's see how this works this year. This is a bit of a novelty. And then, of course, make sure that all the topics are addressed. And there's a lot of interesting things happening in food tech. There's a lot of interesting things happening in agriculture. There's a lot of interesting things happening. I mean, we have to transition to another way of doing agriculture with less pesticides, less fertilizers, more, using biostimulants, helping biotech or using biotech to recover soils. We want to use biotech to solve the climate crisis, and those are topics which are increasingly relevant for society. And I think there's more and more, and we're seeing more investors who are specialized in investing in food tech, and etc. And we're actually inviting some of those investors to do a reverse pitch presentation so they can explain their investment strategy, what their focus areas are, how much they want to invest, and what the typical ticket size. Just explain what their investment strategy is. So that's another. So we want these generally smaller biotech companies to reach out to these investors and foster that community, that ecosystem that we're seeing is going to explode around in the next few years.
One of the great things about these big conferences is that they allow for these really meaningful connections to be built, whether it's in a partnering meeting, something very formal that's been booked, or whether it's out on the floor as well. Can you recall just offhand, have there been any big collaborations or important collaborations that have been launched thanks to BIOSPAIN?
Yeah, well, I mean, BioSpain this is something, by the way, that we want to work on is documenting it, because historically we know from hearsay that some major deals have been reached in BioSpain, and some major agreements have actually been spawned in BioSpain. But we don't have a statistical record of that, unfortunately. So there's something that we want to start working on, is ensuring that if there is a deal that has been somehow initiated or finalized or in BioSpain, that somehow we have some way of recording that, because it's very hard to keep track of what's going on. We're not spying on people, what they're discussing on the partnering system, and what they're discussing in the partnering booth. So it's very hard to actually state, oh yes, this deal was definitely agreed in BioSpain, or this definitely originated in BioSpain. I myself, when I wasn't working for Acebio a few years ago, had the fortune of initiating a conversation with a pharmaceutical company that led to a €1 million deal with my employer at the time. So I can attest that there are opportunities coming out of Acebio and BioSpain. But I think Sanifit is one example of a company that started speaking to investors in BioSpain. Isios has been a prominent investor in the Spanish ecosystem. They've been regular participants in BioSpain, and I'm pretty sure that many of the investments they have made in Spanish biotech originated in discussions that were taking place in BioSpain. This year, for example, we are in discussions with FPA. FPA is the European Federation of Pharmaceutical Industry, and they want to organize a session on precision medicine applied to oncology, and they want to have discussions with the regional health systems, hoping to improve access, market access. So it's hard to keep track of those opportunities, but we can attest, at least from hearsay, that there's been a lot of matchmaking going on in BioSpain historically.
Talking about that matchmaking, you've got really structured opportunities like these partnering meetings that people are going to book with Partnering One. You've got the nighttime activities that you mentioned, which are great for informal networking. But when people are on the floor, what are they going to be able to network just informally, moving around? Are there places they can do that, places they can be where they can just make those connections?
Yeah, we have, of course, the evening receptions. There is a smaller cocktail that we have in Pedralbes, the Royal Palace of Pedralbes, which is a lovely venue. Weather allows, we'll do it in the gardens, otherwise indoor. And there we will convene about 200 investors and sponsors and politicians, authorities as well. So that's an opportunity for informal networking. We have coffee breaks. All these sessions will be interrupted during the coffee breaks. We will have some of the booths will be, some of these exhibitors will be organizing their own little, little events. Maybe they'll have some catering in their booths. There is, of course, all the coffee all the coffee tables where people just can bump into each other. Just the fact that to get anywhere in the way the flow of people, visitors, is going through the floor plan, people are going to be bumping into each other constantly. I mean, I will be very busy in BioSpain myself, but when I go to BioSpain, I just constantly bumping into people I had met before, hadn't seen maybe in 2-3 years, and it's a lovely opportunity to just meet people you haven't seen in a long time. So I think it's just it's also up to you to visitors to decide how visible they want to be made themselves. To spend time in the floor, if you're going to hide in the partnering booths, it's up to you. I mean, there's different ways that you have the opportunity of just visiting all the exhibitors. There'll be about 180, almost 190 exhibitor spaces. So visiting, you have to visit the Swiss booth, you have to visit the Argentinian booth, you have to visit the Uruguayan booth, the UK booth, and all the companies that are exhibiting there as well. We have BioCat has their main, their right, smack as you go into the pavilion. You will find BioCat's booth, and they're going to have at least, I would guess, 10-12 companies exhibiting there. Several of the Spanish regional governments are also setting up their booth with SMEs who will have an opportunity to showcase their innovation. So you have Asturias, Galicia, you have Andalusia, you have Valencia, all those regions. The Basque Country is going to have a major booth as well. So you have all the regional governments with their ecosystems as well. So there's so many opportunities to meet other people. It's just going to be nonstop meeting people. You'll come back with a stack of business cards, and it'll take you 2 or 3 weeks to process them.
I want to pick out one of those countries that you mentioned because Switzerland is there, and this year they're a guest country. Can you tell me a little bit about the collaboration that you're going to have there with Switzerland, and what's their long-term relationship with biotech in Spain?
Yeah, I mean, Switzerland, I would say we have had a long-standing relationship with Swiss biotech. And I think we have a very good, I think, rapport with them. And I think it's mainly because there is a lot of similarity between Swiss biotech and Asavio, the two national biotech associations, and in conception and the way we operate, the way we do business, the way we try to represent the industry. I think there's a lot of similarities. We've been regular attendees of the Swiss Biotech Days. I think it's one of the most, I think, productive biotech events in Europe. Without a doubt, they've been growing the events consistently, and we've been learning a lot of what they've been doing and try to replicate what they've been doing here as well. I've been going to Swiss Biotech Days for 3 years in a row, and I've been a witness to the way it's been growing, the way they've been improving the event, and the way I think Michael Altorfer, the president of Swiss Biotech, is doing a great job. And we already tried to get them to come over to BioSpain in the last edition, but it was a bit difficult for them because they didn't have the resources at the time. So this year I said, well, look, we're going to invite you. You'll be our guest this year. You'll be the guest nation of BioSpain. And we'll provide you with a pavilion, and we're setting up activities with their delegation. So we're setting up a session with representatives from Swiss Biotech, from Roche, from both the Spanish. We'll be having people who have connections to both Switzerland and Spain. And there's a large Spanish community there, people doing, having with professional careers in Switzerland. And Switzerland, as you know, has one of the most developed biotech ecosystems in Europe, together probably with the UK. I would say the two most developed ecosystems in Europe. And there's a lot of Spanish and also Swiss people doing business in Spain. So we're going to have a session with people who have experience in Switzerland and Spain, people like Joël Jean-Maret, who's part Swiss, part Spanish, and was a very successful entrepreneur in Switzerland, and people like Esther Mello from Roche, Michael Altofer himself, Begoña Carreño, who has a company, is working for a company in Basel. So there is a lot of links, unsuspected links between the Spanish and the Swiss ecosystem. I think for Swiss companies coming to Spain is attractive. We have a very, I think, powerful clinical research ecosystem. Spain has become, I think, the number one site for new clinical studies in Europe as of last year, and especially the Barcelona area. And I think a lot of the Swiss biotech startups are looking at Spain as a good venue for clinical trials. And we're also trying to attract, the Swiss VC industry, see if they can take a peek at what's going on here and start looking as Spain as a fertile, site for new deal flow for their portfolio. So let's see what I think. This is just the first step in trying to make a more permanent. Spanish-Swiss community. We want this to be not a isolated one-time event. We want it to be a permanent collaboration between Swiss Biotech and Labiotech.eu. So we have the commitment of going back to Switzerland every year for the biotech event, and we're hoping that we will attract the Swiss back to Spain as well every year henceforward.
Stuart, tell me a little bit about the event in terms of raw figures now. We're talking more than 1,000 companies, more than 40 countries. How many people do you actually expect there on the floor?
Yeah, we're seeing the pattern of registration as follows a very typical curve, with a very exponential curve in the last weeks before the event. I guess it's typical. So we are on track, I think, meeting and even surpassing the figures from the last edition in terms of registered attendees. So in the last edition, we would had almost 1,800 full ticket attendees, so people with who had access to the partnering system, had full ticket, and then we had when we count in all the speakers, people who people who had one-day tickets. So we have two types of registration. We have full registration and also complimentary passes. So people who just want to spend the day there and don't have the time to spend the 3 days, or don't want to do partnering. So if we count in all the other tickets, then we had 2,200 attendees in the 2023 edition. So I think we are on track to even surpassing those figures this year. I'm guessing we'll get above 1,800, maybe almost 2,000 full ticket attendees, and maybe 2,200, 2,500 visitors in total, including people who participate in the Talent Day, which, by the way, is growing very quickly as well. We have already more than 100 attendees for the Talent Day registered. So that's something that we're doing a little wager there as well this year, see how that goes. So I'm expecting to surpass 2023 in terms of attendance. Partnering, last edition, we had about 15,000 requests and 5,000 meetings that were arranged. So that's a good turn. That's actually a good ratio. If you go to Bio, I think you'll be lucky if you got maybe 20% of your request actually transformed into an actual meeting. So they're a very good ratio in terms of the response rate you get in the number of meetings that you can arrange. And then, of course, exhibitors, we practically sold out as of today. We still have about 10 spaces left to the little 6 square meter modules left to available. So I think we're going to be fully booked by the end of this month. We have, I think, about 40 countries represented already as of today. I was counting this morning. We have about 100 investors, professional investors registered in the event as well. So I think we're going to be, meeting or even surpassing 2023 in terms of attendance and numbers. Yes, we had more than 1,000 entities represented in 2023. So we're hoping to surpass those numbers as well. It's just now, I think we've gotten to the point where we probably have to consider a larger venue for the 2027 edition. See how it goes, but I think we're sort of we're stretching through our streams, and we're going to have to get a larger suit next edition.
Stuart, you've been around the industry for a long time, but if you can put yourself in the shoes of someone who might be a first-time attendee, bringing a new biotech or a really early-stage biotech to BIOSPAIN, what sort of practical advice can you give them for making the most of their time there in Barcelona?
My advice is prepare. Don't go there, unprepared. So don't try to rush through the partnering system the last few days, because your success rate is going to be smaller. It's better if you start partnering today, register it today, and start. It's a good time to register right now, this week, because now is when you're going to get an explosion of registrations. Most of the registration happened between the last 6 weeks before the event. We do try to encourage people to register earlier, but human nature is as it is. So we try to have early bird registration rates, etc. But people, whatever you do, they prefer to register in the last 5-6 weeks. So this is a good time to register. Enter a good profile. Try to think through your profile to become, as attractive as possible. Make sure that you state clearly what you're looking for and what you're offering. There is a marketplace where you can define your technological, your commercial offer. So work through your profile, make sure it's attractive, upload documentation, upload your PDFs, make sure people understand who you are and what you're offering. And be persistent in terms of request for meetings. Try to get good quality, not too many meetings, but good quality meetings, and work through those. Make sure that you get maybe 2-3 messages out to those people who you really want to meet. make sure you explain clearly why they need to meet you and see you. Don't just spend all your time in the meeting booths. I mean, it's nice, but it's good to have also moments to open your, expand your horizons and open your eyes, keep your eyes open for people you weren't expecting to meet, because that's sometimes it's the unexpected that works. It's the person you run into the tapas store you didn't expect to meet. It's the person you met during the welcome reception in the museum, or just visiting a booth, running into, just having a frank, open discussion with somebody during a coffee break. So just try to make sure that you have slots for meetings and slots for non-meetings. Go to the sessions and just approach the people in the panels and the panelists. Make sure that you approach them after they. I think people are fairly open to. Don't be timid, don't be shy. Just go up to them when they finish. You like somebody who said something interesting during a panel discussion, just approach them after they finish. They'll be open to saying they'll have 5-10 minutes, I'm sure, to discuss with visitors, with attendees. And I think people like to be recognized and spend a few minutes with their audience. So use that opportunity to meet people who you would have otherwise not been able to meet. There's a lot of CEOs in the panel discussions. There's a lot of CSOs, CEOs, small companies, large companies, and some of them from the Spanish subsidiaries of pharmaceutical companies. So just make sure that you take the opportunity to approach people and make sure your badge is in the right position so I can see your name and your position as well. So they
Sometimes
can come and
it's
approach
those
you as
little
well.
things that make the big the big difference in an
Yeah.
event like this. Stuart, just to finish off, remind me the dates of the event. Obviously, we're in
that's
Barcelona,
important.
and how do people register?
Yeah, the dates are, of course, 7th through 9th of October. So lovely weather usually in Barcelona at that time of the year. So maybe you can even bring a bathing suit or a bikini. Who knows? There might be a chance if it does rain. And there will be a cocktail, which is a bit more restricted, which is by invitation also for sponsors and investors on the evening of the 6th. There'll be also some activities with the Swiss delegation on Monday. And it's open for registrations, been since I think in January. You go to our website, biospain.com, and go to the attend section in the website. There's also book your booth section in the website. So it's all there. It's very straightforward. It's online and it's fairly automatic. So there's rates for members of the associations. There's rates for there's a discount rate for Catalan companies who have their tax or fiscal domicile in Catalonia. And there's standard rates. I think rates are fairly reasonable, certainly more economic than BIO-Europe. So fairly accessible. We want to make sure that nobody feels that it's so expensive that they can't participate. So we try to keep the rates as reasonable as possible. And there's also, if you are a member of a cluster organization in any European country or outside Europe, some of those cluster organizations have agreements with us. So make sure that you ask them to see if there's a discount. And they usually have discount codes that we facilitate, we make available to a lot of the regional clusters, national clusters, and other institutions throughout Europe. And those you can check out the website for the sponsors of the event. A lot of those sponsors have agreements with us, so you can get a 10-50% discount depending on the agreement with those clusters. Make sure that you can take advantage of that as well.
Stuart, it sounds like a fantastic event. Labiotech will be there covering the event as well. And Stuart, just fantastic. Thank you for joining us today on Beyond Biotech.
Thank you to you, and it was a pleasure talking to you. Thanks for the time. I really appreciate this. Yeah.
That's it for this episode. Don't forget to check out all the latest news and analysis at Labiotech.eu. I hope wherever you are in the world, you have a great week ahead. Thanks for listening, and I hope you'll join us again next time for another Beyond Biotech.